All right, how's it going, everyone? This is Jose Trujillo, world's greatest living artist, coming to you from my art studio once again with awesomeness and Starbucks. Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, welcome. I'm so happy to do another video. I love doing this little je ne sais quoi videos, and I will be doing a. What is this? San Francisco Chinatown. Someone had asked me, "Have you ever done, like buildings with movement and people?" And yes, I have. And I'm gonna show you how I do it in a little 8x10 stretch canvas. Okay, with my awesome drawing skills, super awesome drawing skills. Here we go. Okay. Now this one, guys, this one. So I know some people ask me like where do you base your paintings and whatnot. Sometimes I do have certain photographs that I use. I don't like to use the photograph completely the way it is because it's not painting friendly. Those of you who've been painting for a longer time know what I'm talking about. It doesn't translate correctly. Sometimes you have something that is a photograph and it doesn't mean that it works well as a painting, and it's just the way it is. So I try to stay away from painting directly from the photograph. So I'll use references, little visits I've done to San Fran, and little sketches, and it's gotta be, it's for me, right? I don't know for you, but for me it's gotta be a mixture of how do you call this, reality and a bit of storytelling. I think the more abstract you can get, the less descriptive you're trying to be with the art itself. You're really, in a way, telling more with less. I don't know if I made any sense there. You're telling more with less, meaning you're not really using the artwork to describe so much. You're using the gesture, the movement, as opposed to someone who creates very realistic work, intense. Some people call it intense, where the artist sits there for, I don't know, maybe 20 hours. I used to do that. I don't do it anymore. Sometimes I do it with portraits, but I don't even sit there that long for portraits. I try to take the quick road. The quick road. I don't really care much about that. And I'm not a fan of it. I'm not into that. It worked for me when I started painting. It just doesn't work for me anymore. I don't. And there's nothing wrong with it, okay? By all means, if that's your thing, well, that's your thing, But it's not mine anymore. So I stay away from the whole. Did I get the value correct? That whole thing. I'm not. Oh, I like what the old artists used to do. It looks like a sketch. It looks like a sketch, but it wasn't a sketch. It almost looks like they're like, well, I'm gonna test these colors. Someone that I really enjoyed was Delacroix. I don't know if I mentioned it to you guys like a million times, but Delacroix was one of those artists that it seemed like his work, and I know he did some very epic pieces, right, that don't look like a sketch at all, but it said that he would do some very intricate paintings that only would take him a night, meaning a few hours, I believe it. The crucifixion is one of them. I believe it because I've done it. I've done some portrait work that people are like, oh man, this must have taken you, forever. And I'm like, yeah, maybe 2 hours, 1 hour, I don't know. Because, well, maybe not 1 hour, 2 hours. Yeah, for most portraits, it takes me about 2 hours. But you kind of develop that, you know where to cut, in other words. And it's really based on vision. It's It's not like you're trying to cut corners. Some people think like why are you doing it so fast? Slow down. You know, I've gotten some artists tell me to slow down. They're like, man, your work looks like you're in a hurry. Maybe because I cause maybe I am in a hurry. I got a lot to tell. So little time. I got a lot to say. You know, maybe I am in a hurry. I don't know. I'm not in a hurry, but you know, I'm just joking. Whatever. What I am is interested in telling the story in a direct way, and I love conveying multiple stories. You know, I don't just get stuck with one art piece. I'm not. I used to do that again when I was younger. I used to be like, I'm gonna paint this epic piece, and now I'm like, I'm gonna paint 100,000 epic pieces. That's kind of how I look at it now. Whereas, you know, before I was like, I'm going to make this one piece that is going to be like as epic as, I don't know, the Liberty Guiding the People by Delacroix. Or Monet, when Monet was younger, he tried to do that too. He tried to paint that, you know, that epic piece. I think it happens a lot with younger artists. Maybe we're over romanticize the thing. I mean, good thing Monet kept pushing through, you know, otherwise he would have just, you know, not, I don't know, maybe like they used to say about Picasso, right, that he was going to hang himself behind Demoiselle de Avignon. I don't know if I could pronounce that correctly for you French-speaking people. Maybe I did a horrible job. I convinced my wife that I had this ultimate French accent. When we were dating, I was like, oh, I have this ultimate French accent. She's like, really? I was like, yeah. I couldn't speak French for shit. I still can't. I don't know. But it worked then. Okay, it was the 90s. No, I wasn't the 90s, but I was a 90s guy. So you could talk about stuff like that. I don't know. I think we were all just trying to look up to Johnny Depp. We're like, oh, okay, that cat seems like he's got it together. Look at him. He looks like he's hanging out in the right places, and you know, he's got cool tattoos, and he's a super cool guy. But we kind of forgot the part where he was like extremely wealthy. You know, that he could pull that off, and go back to a nice place. Where if we tried to do that when we were younger, it was like, Mom, please forgive me. The prodigal son came back. I am so sorry. I will never be a crazy artist again. Anyways. But yeah, this is one of those moments where I was like, I'm going to be an awesome artist, and this is what I was doing. I'm going to go to San Fran and just sketch out, and you know. Of course, you're like the only guy doing that because you think it's so artistic. It's probably like that everywhere, you know. You're like, oh man, I'm gonna meet all these artists. Maybe right, but I was probably in the wrong places. Where it's like, oh, what's that guy doing there? Well, I thought there was a bunch of artists here, you guys. I don't know. Just saying. So this is kind of how I like to play it, okay? Very super mellow, cool, keeping you cool. And of course the sky is light, okay? Light. It doesn't matter if it's a night, your source of light. As long as you have light, as long as you have sun, your source of light will probably be the sky. Someone told me that they disagree with me on the source of light being the sky. When I said, I think I was talking about, what was I talking about? I was talking about water, and how water, if you look at water, when you're painting a pond, I was painting a water lily pond or something like that. I was like, if you look at water, it gets darker in the back. Oh no, it gets darker in the front and lighter in the back. That's what I was saying. You know, but I was talking about the pond. And then someone was like, I disagree completely. When you look at the ocean, it's darker in the back. I'm like, yeah, because the ocean is different. The water is a direct reflection of the sky. It's a mirror. A pond is a mirror. The ocean's not a mirror. The ocean's a completely different beast. You know, it's not reflecting the sky. When you look at an ocean, you're not looking at the sky. You're looking at a body of water. It's a whole different thing. Anyways, that was my that was my rant right there. I was like, no, the sky is a mirror. The pond is a mirror. It's a different thing. Small body of water. Anyways. So here we go, guys. Check it out. Eh? No que no, we say in Spanish. I don't know how to translate that in English. Those of you who speak Spanish perfectly, please help me translate that. I think it's like I told you so. Something like that. I don't know. Maybe just butcher that saying completely. All right. Let's do this. Something like that. No? Why not? If it's not fun, something's happening. And you know, and it's not always like bells and whistles. It's not. I mean, bells and whistles. It's not always like, you know, like, oh, ha 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 ha, let's laugh and it's so fun. It's not always like that. Sometimes it's, you know, it's a little. Sometimes you're working on stuff. You know, sometimes it's like did I get that right? Did I not? But what you want to do, what I try to, you know, preach all the time here, is you want to minimize that, because the more you minimize it, the better you are off. When it comes to creating artwork, of course, you know, the more you minimize the chatter, the better chance you have of painting something true. No, not real in the sense of realism, but something true, where you actually get to peel off the BS, whatever that looks for you. You know, you do this type of stuff, or you do illustration, or you do photography. I don't know, whatever it is that you do. You essentially, I believe, as artists, we're peeling off the BS. This is one place where I think if you're a serious artist, and I'm not talking about like serious as in mindset serious, like I'm a serious artist. I'm talking about like if you go after if you follow your dreams, if you go after your thing, you will find out sooner or later that you are peeling off the BS. That's really the job of the artist. I think. I don't know. For me, it is. I don't know if it's for everyone, but I think it's. And it doesn't matter what it looks like. You could be a realistic, you know, photographic painter. You could be a post-impressionistic type of artist. You could be a musician. Sooner or later, if you're a guitarist, you'll realize that you learn how to shred on your guitar, how to do those crazy licks, to then use that to make things simpler, to say more with less, in other words. You know, I think that's really, in essence, because what we try to create in artwork is space, and it's many times it's hard to do that because we think we're in the business of noise. you know, just like music, just like anything, you know, storytelling, whatever. We all think that we're in the business of noise. We're like, oh yeah, um, the more I the more I storytell, the more I paint, the more I draw, the more I play music, it's got to be packed, jam packed with noise. But sooner or later, I think we start figuring out that if you want to be great, I think if you want to get too great, not just good, not just like, oh yeah, I can, you know, create some nice artwork. Oh, I'm gonna pull another brush. I think sooner or later you start figuring out very quick. You start figuring out that you are in the business of um, creating space. You're really um, you create therapy for yourself and for those who are around you. I think. I think that that's really the bottom line of any type of artwork, whether it's music. It doesn't really matter what it is. I think it comes down to that. It comes down to, did you create space? Not visual space, mental space. Not you know, a lot of artists are like, we get stuck on this thing we do, right? Paint. I get stuck on it every day. Okay, it's not like I'm away from it. It's not like I've transcended that. No, I get stuck on it. I shoot the shit just like everyone else. You know, I work on it. I mold it. It's a challenge. I think just like everyone else. I think what many people don't get is that um, 9 out of 10, I'd rather be doing something else. It's very easy to do something when you want to do it. It becomes difficult when you show up because you need to show up, because now it's a calling, now it's different, you know, it's very different. It's a very, I think it's like I think it's what separates really the boys from the men, you know, to put it in a misogynistic expression. But I really do think is what separates us, you know, if you want to go to pro level, or you want to stay in weekend, or you know, or what some people say amateur or whatever. It really happens that way. It's got to do with that. Do you feel like showing up today? No, you don't. You're not alone. Nobody does. Chuck Close doesn't want to show up to work. Who does? Come on. Let's talk real. You only want to show up when you have a new idea or you have an inspiration. That's really when you want to show up. You know, that's really when I ever want to show up. 9 out of 10, I don't want to show up. I don't want to do this, and I'm speaking real. I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything. 9 out of 10, I don't. But there's something more important, you know, that you are supposed to do. That it's not about you. It's about creating the artwork. You need to do it. I don't know why, but you need to. It's almost, you know, it's not almost. I think that being an artist is um, is a vocational career. I really do. I think being an artist is it's a hell of a thing. It's a very vocational. Many people don't get that. Many people are like, That's why so many artists I think are struggling. That's why so many artists can't sell their work, and because it really comes down to that. It really comes down to it's a completely vocational. So if you don't train yourself to show up, uh, it will be hard on you because you know that you need to show up. Whatever that is for you, whether it's your studio time, singing, that book you haven't written, it will hold weight on you because showing up is what will get you to write that book. It's not going to be that special idea that you've been cooking for ever. I'm sorry to say that. I know some people get upset with me when I say stuff like this, but it's not that melody that you're creating that you're going to produce if you're into music production. It's not. I mean, it'll help, I'm sure. Keep doing it, but no one thing saves. It's the constant showing up. That is the determining factor. It's the constant showing up that creates the groove for inspiration to flow in and come in. And that takes a bit of it's hard. It's like people that exercise. I don't know. I don't exercise like I should. But it's like people that are like, I'm gonna go run 10 miles, right? I have a friend who's like, this morning I ran 5 miles. It's like when people tell me like, how many paintings do you do a day? Well, that's I force myself. I was asking this friend like, how hard is it? And he's like, how hard is it for you? He told me, to paint every day. I was like, very difficult. He's like, why are you asking me that question if you know the answer? And it's difficult. It's starting, that it's difficult. Once you start and you get in the groove and you get in that zone, then you know what the next step is and the next step and the next step. And it does it by itself. It's not like you're guiding anything. You're really just listening. Because when you're in the zone, you start listening. That's why people are like, how did you know what to do there in that painting? I didn't really know what to do there. Anyone that does anything becomes a master listener, I think. In music, we used to say this. I was a musician, right? I guess I still am, but I always say that. Because I don't play music anymore. We used to say, leave your egos in the door, right? In the door. Hang your egos in the door. And every time someone has an idea for something, no one's allowed to say anything negative. Let the next step dictate what's coming. And I heard someone say, I wish it was me, but I gotta give credit to this person. This guy said, listen to the song. Someone came up with a melody or whatever, and we were all trying to force things around it and whatnot. And then this guy's like, no, dude, you gotta listen to the song. The song will tell you what's next. I know it sounded like, super hippie, because the guy was super hippie, at the time at least. But I know he meant it from a very true place. I knew it because every time we did that, it was like magic. We created magic. So anyways, I'll leave you guys with that. Next time you're creating artwork, force yourself a little bit to get into the studio to create. And listen to the canvas. It'll tell you what to do next. Sometimes we want to order it, but it is impossible. You can't order the canvas. If you do, it's fine. You'll do something. You'll put paint here, paint there. But I think, I don't know, for me anyways, has worked. I don't know if for everybody. I can't speak for everyone. If you start listening to it, if you start just ignoring yourself. I know it's a weird thing, it's a weird concept because we want to dictate. If you start ignoring yourself, you'll find that the canvas really is speaking to you in a simple way. I'm not talking about like, I heard the voice from the canvas. No, it'll tell you what to do next. It guides you. It's a dance. It's like, oh, okay, here. Oh, okay, there. You know, it starts puzzling itself, and it doesn't need your mind. It doesn't need your mind. It puzzles itself. What it needs is your practice, so that that becomes more flow. You know, it flows better. But it does not need your mind. I'll leave you with that. The name is Jose Trujillo. Man, I'm one hell of an artist. Just check that out, guys. Sorry for the craziness there out of Zoom. But that is Chinatown. If you want it to be. I want it to be. All right, guys. Take care. Thank you so much. And I will be talking to you guys soon again with another awesome video. Take care. Bye-bye.